All right. Everybody's talking about Citi Bike Karen. Citi Bike, I've been hearing for it about a week. And I've been seeing a lot of people go after another YouTuber named Def Noodles, who I can't fucking stand, who, I don't know, he sits there, he talks with an annoying voice, now he thinks he's a comedian. He reports on, like, gossip and shit like that. He's another one of them. So, but apparently he's sticking to his guns that he's right, that this chick was really a Karen and in the wrong, and I guess she's even threatening to sue him. And what I have to say about that, good for her. This chick has been, and I knew this would happen eventually with the whole Karen thing. All right, here's what I know. Now, if I'm wrong, I will admit it. And this is, I don't rush to judgment. Okay, I do sometimes. But I don't rush to judgment. I'm not in a position like media where I've seen people, and this did happen with this Karen situation. Here's what happened. As far as I can tell. Now, I had to read a couple different articles on this because I am not versed in bike rental. I don't do it. I don't understand it. It's not like Uber to me. I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. All right. So I guess when you get a bike, you rent it for a certain period of time, and then you dock it. And once you dock it, it's not yours anymore. And then somebody else can rent it. All right? That's pretty much what I gather from it. So what the video shows of the Karen is this woman who's actually, I think she was like I don't know if she's an ICU nurse, she's a hospital nurse, she's coming out in the gear and everything like that. By the way, 6 months pregnant. 6 months pregnant, coming out. And she's surrounded by young black men, all of a sudden kind of around her. And, I'm sorry, she's a single woman. She's in the city, surrounded by, I think it was at least 3, maybe 4. There was the cameraman, there was another guy I saw, and then there was the guy arguing with her about the bike. And they were putting their hands on the bike. At one point, they seemed to put their hands on her arm. Maybe she did put her hands on. I couldn't really tell what was going on there. But here's what I did see and why people were calling her Karen. She started trying to take the bike. And then, because this is not your bike. This is not your bike. This is not your bike. And so she starts going, help me. Someone help me. Help me. And then she starts to cry. They're like, you're not even crying. You're not even crying real tears. So right away, I know these guys are assholes. Right? I could tell from the vibe, all right, that these guys are a bunch of pricks and they're up to some shit. All right, I don't know what it was. They were looking for, I think, their YouTube moment to sit there and like, oh, we're the victims of a Karen, because they heard cha-ching in their head. It ain't going to go the way they thought it would, if by the evidence I've seen. So she starts getting, not hysterical. They call her hysterical. I didn't think she was that hysterical. She was screaming for help. She was trying to get a bike that, from what I've seen, clearly belonged to her. This guy's ride ended, I'm going to say it like 7:15. All right, I can't remember the exact timing. Like 17 or something like that, whatever. Not too long later, her ride started. He had docked the bike. And I guess that's the deal breaker. Once you dock the bike, your ride is therefore over. All right, you're over. So from everything I've read and seen, and by the way, I'll get there in a second, it was her bike. What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck away from her. You know what I mean? If you were real gentlemen and men about it, what you would have done is been like, listen, there's obviously something wrong with this bike. She's upset about this. It's a woman. She told them at one point she's 6 months pregnant. I would have just been like, you know what? Fine, whatever. I'll get another bike. Let me get on my app real. What's the big fucking deal? Why would you sit there and basically harass this woman? I'll tell you why. Because you were trying to incite her because you wanted a Karen moment. Because you wanted some money. That's what the fuck you wanted. That's what was going through your head. The guy filming you and everything. He's another one. Should be smacked. So then it gets to the point where for about a week it's riding like this, that she's this awful person, stuff like that. She loses her job at the hospital. I'm sorry, temporary leave, which is still, I don't think she was getting paid for it. Hopefully she was. And there even was somebody on, I think it was MSM. No, I'm sorry, I take it back. It was the Young Turks. It's another channel I can't stand. Where this guy gets on there, right away. Now, you're a reporter, or you're at least presenting yourself as a reporter. He tried to backtrack and say, well, I really do editorial work. No, she should sue your fucking ass too, all right? Because here's what you did. He got on there right away. I think that day it happens. Like, this is obviously another Karen situation because young black men are involved and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, this is where she worked at this hospital, and this is where she works. They were interviewing people outside of her building, saying, what do you think about this Karen? And this one black woman presented with the evidence that she saw was like maybe rightfully because she just had that little clip, was like, it's because she's white and everything else. Guess what? right away, like a day or maybe not even later, that guy who gave her like workplace and all that shit, he backtracked away. He's like, I'm sorry, we found some more evidence comes to light that this is a bunch of fucking hogwash shit, and but I am an editorial reporter and I do opinion pieces. No. See you in court, fucker. Shut the hell up. You're not getting away with that. No, not happening. Not on my watch. I don't have a watch, but if I did, it wouldn't happen on my watch. So then, here's where the plot gets really interesting. I got this Deaf Noodles guy going on and on and on. Like, oh yeah, she's guilty, she's horrible, she's suing me, she's a Karen, she's definitely a Karen. And there's, the victim's got receipts. Okay, so the victim's sister, who must be one of the dumbest humans on the planet, because if you are going to give receipts that prove the other person's side, she gets on there and she's like, okay, so I'm going to show this receipt that this ride ended at this time, and therefore, was not her bike, even though it ended at this time, and she had it right after, and he already docked the bike, and just look at the proof that she gives, and then tell me I'm wrong. She gives us proof, and then she goes, now, how would I know this? Because he's my brother, and we already spent the money in our head. We're going to get a condo. We're going to get 2 condos. We're going to have a Lifetime movie series, maybe even a Netflix movie based on this horrible, horrible tragedy by this evil white chick. And then I looked at the receipt, and I looked at the comments under it, and everybody's like, you dum-dum, that basically proves that it's hers. I hope she sues Deaf Noodles and wins. I hope she sues the sister and wins. I hope she sues this idiot who put it up and wins. This is why this Karen thing's got a little bit out of control. There are Karens in the world. Trust me, there's plenty, and I grew up with some. Interestingly enough, just a little side note, it kind of amuses me that they decided to call them Karens, because the one woman that tattled on me, like I can't even make shit like this up. She wrote a 6-page letter to I lived in a 12-unit like townhouse complex. 12 units. And she wrote a 6-page letter, copied it, gave it to everybody, including my mother, about what a horrible person I was. She had listed dates of stuff I had done, like on this day. I remember one of them in particular was on, let's say, June 22nd or whatever. He said to one of his friends, I don't know if you allow your child to talk like this. He said, and I quote, I'll never forget this quote. He was playing with a walkie-talkie. His other friend was trying to learn to work the walkie-talkie, and he bellowed, get your motherfucking hand off the goddamn button. And I did. I was 12. What do you want from me? And some other things, like I'd set a cardboard box on fire and she'd seen it or something like that. Bitch, you had no proof. You had no proof even then. You didn't see shit. And that I'd thrown eggs all over her back door because she had once told on me and got me in trouble or yelled at me about something. That never happened at all. Or that I was shooting her nephews in retaliation again with BBs when they were in a swimming pool across from my window, using a pea shooter to do it with my other friend. And at first they were screaming and crying and didn't know where it was coming from. And then somebody eventually saw me hovered in my window. That was a game that we were playing. It was for fun. All right, bitch, the bitch got me. It's shit. But a lot of it, I would have understood if it went directly to my mother, but she made sure she wanted to embarrass my mom, so she gave it to everybody. My mom was the nicest person. You can ask anybody who's known her. I mean, everybody says that about their mother, but really, I didn't deserve her. The nicest person you ever meet in your life. I've never in my life, my mom didn't swear. She didn't swear. She didn't swear, and I can tell you for sure, I don't think many people can say this about their parents, I've never once heard her use a racial epithet in my life. Not even traffic or anything like that. Nothing. And if I used anything like that, or against somebody's sexuality, when I used to call people the F word, meaning something gay when I was young, she would get back on my ass. My mom would turn to me and be like, did you sleep with him? What? Did you have sex with that guy, that boy, or that man? No. Then how do you know he's gay? Then shut up. She didn't want to hear it. She wouldn't judge anything. But that was the only time I ever seen her almost beat a woman's ass. And, oh, God, I was just rooting for it. Please punch her. Please punch her. I'm sitting there the whole time getting excited. But yeah, she was all good. Talk it out. Use her words. But, yeah. So what I think about the Karen is it's a non-story. But that's become a story that now the people who made the story are going to regret. And they're going to have to pay some money for it. So... too bad, so sad. I don't feel bad.